Welcome back, all my 40K fanatics out there. Here we are to bring you another battle report. I'm DJ here with Tibbs Nason, joined with John, who is going to be playing
Iron Hands.
Yes, the feared Iron Hands after Ark of Omens hit and losing Armor of Contempt and gaining one Doctrine, which he's not wearing his heavy Doctrine shirt, so I guess we're going to have to ask him every turn what Doctrine he's in. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. Like, share, comment down below. A lot of your guys' comments help me decide on some videos to make. Also, turn on that bell for notifications so you can get notified on more battle reports and other faction-focused videos, such as ones on Necrons. And today, I will be bringing my AdMech against you. This could go really, really bad. But my list has had some success against armies that are not Iron Hands. If I take this thing to a tournament and do well, there's a good chance that I'm going to end up running into Iron Hands. So John was so nice to come over here and just punch me in the face because you know what? I got a plan, and that's the next step of this. So John, Iron Hands, why do you want to run them right now? Is the answer as simple as it should be?
Well, it should be, but however, I've just been running Iron Hands for a while, ever since they got the Nerf back in the day when the Codex first came out. I've always been a fan of them, but they're real strong right now, and they can really bring the hurt.
A funny little story, John has been playing Iron Hands for quite some time, and back in pre-COVID, we actually met at a GT, and I had a big brick of 20 warriors. Yes, I'm bringing the warriors here. 20 warriors. And he poured everything into them, stratagems, everything, took it from 20 down to 1, and then they died on the number. And I said, you know what? I'm going to spend a command point and re-roll that 5-up invuln. And I stuck it, and I reanimated 11 for it. And I love that little moment with it, a little moment. Command point out of left field. And I rolled his dice, too, to add insult.
They betrayed me.
I'm surprised I'm able to get him over here for this game. But enough, before he decides to turn around and run out the door. John, let's talk about your list. What are you bringing with us today?
So I am bringing Iron Hands today, a Space Marine chapter, which the chapter tactic is going to give me an army-wide 6-up Feel No Pain, as well as all of the vehicles that you are going to be seeing on screen will be considered double wounds for determining if they are bracketed or not. Their special doctrine is going to be re-rolling 1s for heavy weapons in the Devastator doctrine, which I have no plans of leaving. As for my warlord, is going to be the Judiciar. He is currently souped up with 2 different warlord traits. Those warlord traits are Will of Iron, which won't come up as it is a deny a psychic power. However, he does have another one called Student of History. It's going to allow him to consolidate 6 inches away from anything that tries to charge him. Then we're going to have a Master of the Forge Tech Marine with a Librarian to his side, knowing the psychic powers Psi Steel Armor and Blessing a Machine God. For our troops choices, we're going to have 2 units of Assault Intercessors, and then 2 units of Infiltrators. For our elites, we're going to have a 5-man Blade Guard Veteran Squad. For our fast attacks is going to be a Land Speeder Tornado. And the longest part of the list is going to be the heavy support, where we're going to have 2 units of Devastator Squads, all of them with Grav Cannons, except for 1 with the Heavy Bolter, 1 Gladiator Reaper, 2 Gladiator Valiants, and the Repulsor Executioner. And for dedicated transports, we are going to be bringing a drop pod and an impulsor with the Belisarius Missile Array.
All right, going from a vehicle-centered list over to a vehicle-centered list. I'll be bringing my AdMech Lucius detachment, which means that 1 damage weapons are going to give me +1 save, as well as increasing the range on my guns by 3 inches. Just going over to the list, starting with my troops, I am taking 2 of the 5-man destroyer teams with Plasma and Flamer, recently getting core. I think these guys might have a little bit of play around my Dominus. In my fast attack slot, I have a 5-man squad of Dragoons with Taser Lance. This is one of my favorite units in AdMech all around, so I will try and run them as much as possible. Their inherent -1 to hit makes them a true threat, especially with exploding 6s for 2 additional hits. And going over into my heavy supports, which are not quite as long by 1 unit, I have a 5-man squad of Castellan robots. They're coming with 3 fists and a shoulder cannon, as well as 2 guys with double hand cannons and the shoulder blasters. The shoulder cannons are going at strength 6, -2, 1 damage, where the hand cannons are strength 6, -1, 2 damage, both of which ignore dense cover. Carrying on to 4 Castellan robots, all with hand cannon and shoulder blaster. My gun bots to sit on an objective. Still in heavies, I got 3 Onager Dune crawlers. All 3 are equipped with Icarus arrays. Not as effective into the meta right now since there's not very many flyers, but it's still a lot of shots to put out of these guys, and their large base size helps me zone out for deep strikers. Moving on to the HQs and a free elite. My free elite is my data smith, who I get to take because I have Castellan robots. As long as he's within 3 of the Castellan robots, they will also gain core. I gave him the relic for solar flare, so he can pick up a unit and redeploy them 9 inches away from an enemy, just like Veil of Darkness. I also have a marshal who has the relic to give him reroll hits and wound rolls of 1 for core Skitarii units around him, which means he'll be following the Dragoons. And finally, we have my warlord, the Dominus, who comes with Luminous Blessing and is also of the Logi Holy Order. So during my command phase, I can select one core unit and give them transhuman, and select another core unit or the same one to allow them to ignore AP 1 and 2. He also, being part of the Logi Order, is able to reduce 1 battle tactic stratagem CP by 1.
Today we are playing Conversion out of Ark of Omens Grand Tournament. This mission is a hold 1, hold 2, and also has a tertiary, which is at the end of each player's turn. The player's turn it is, scores 4 victory points if they control the objective marker in their opponent's deployment zone, scores 2 victory points if they control 1 or more objective in no man's land, and loses 1 victory point if they do not control the objective marker in their own deployment zone.
Awesome. So what secondaries are you going to be taking today?
Today we're going to be taking Bring It Down because he brought more vehicles than I did. Then we're going to be taking
Oath of the Moment, didn't you say?
Oath of Moment, as well as Raise the Banners.
Nice. And Banners is kind of a rough play for you, but it falls into a category like you could do Psychic Interrogation, but your Psyker needs to be doing other work on the field.
Yeah, he's a buff Psyker. He needs to be doing those buffs to keep you honest with your damage that you can put out. Yeah.
I mean, I feel you there. My secondaries for today, I'm going to be hitting an Archeo Vault because that scores 5 whenever I complete it, and that's a great secondary. He's going to have to select one of these objective markers outside of our deployment zones. It's going to be the hidden Archeo Vault after we deploy.
Okay.
So, but every time I hold it at the end of turn, that's 5 big ones for me. I'm going to do Eradication of Flesh because I, again, have a lot of vehicles, so hopefully I can at least keep that scale in my favor. And the last one is going to be Bring It Down as well. Even though I can only get 12 points on this, I'm in a position where a lot of the other secondaries don't look too good for me in this build. That might lead to some questions later on. We'll see how it goes. The table's pretty even. Mm-hmm. Only thing that we'll have to do now is decide where we're deploying and who's deploying first. So, Mr. John, odd or even?
Even.
And those who can't see it, it is an odd. So I will select for you to deploy first, and we will be back after deployments.
Perfect.
And we're back after deployment. Why don't you walk me through a little bit what you're thinking here?
So what I'm thinking is you have some stuff that can hurt me, so I'm going to try to at least force you to come out as far as possible to at least try to reach out and grab some of my stuff, possibly put you in a bad position. I have a couple of things staged here. We have our Impulsor, Assault Roll, all that good stuff to potentially do some stuff in the center. Blade Guard and everything for some counter charges, just in case those chicken walkers over there get a little too close. We put your Archeo Vault over here, but we're already going to be holding it at the start of the game, so makes it a little bit harder for you. But other than that, I'm just trying to make sure that most of my stuff survives so I can at least hit you back.
Nice. Yeah, I do have a little bit of range, but I don't think I have the damage to fully pull you out that quickly. For my deployment, I got my robots hanging out in the back, so they're ready to get out their seat and jump around when the time is right. Dragoons are set up as middle. They have some pretty good defensive stats, and I want them to be able to threaten from multiple sides of the board. And I got my destroyers on the bottom floor in the building, so I can go either way. I was kind of expecting that the hidden Archeo Vault was going to end up being further away from me, so at least I'm able to wheel and I'm not completely stuck. And I tried to threaten away from it by putting the robots facing that way, but no, nobody's perfect. And at least I got some range to be able to go on there. So now that we're all situated, how do you feel? Do you want to go first or you want to go second?
I definitely want to go second here.
You definitely want to go second? All right, well, let's see how this rolls out. I have absolutely no idea. That's a 4. That's a 5. So you will be going first, sir. All right, we will be back after the Iron Hands movement phase. Yeah, real quick before we do actually head over to the movement phase, me and John have a couple things going into reserve. John, you have what's going in strategic for you?
So I'm going to be putting my 2 Valiants into strategic reserves, as well as the Devastator Marines inside of the drop pod. And the intercessors that you see here are actually inside the Impulsor, so they're not in.
And for me, it's rather simple. I'm just putting the 3 squads, the 3 Dune Crawlers are going to be in reserve for me. All right, so end of the movement phase. John, talk to me a little bit about what you did this turn.
So this is not the best case scenario for me, but I needed to stage at least to respond to anything that you were going to do. I brought out the Reaper here to reach out and touch some Dragoons there, see if I can't bring them down at least 1 model. Big ask, but we'll see. Blade Guard here behind the ruins, just so we can start keep contesting that middle, as well as bringing the land speeder up. He's going to give me some oath points, as well as possibly confirming that 1 kill against those chickens. And other than that, it's just a bunch of banners.
And the guerrilla tactics?
The guerrilla tactics, we did pull off the infiltrators here. They weren't doing what they needed to do. Again, didn't want to go first, but they will be joining the reserves that we just showed you earlier, and hopefully they can come down and maybe steal an objective late game and be a little clutch.
Awesome. So now we're going over to your psychic phase, right?
Correct.
All right. Well, let's get some casts out here. All right, both the psychic powers went off, so now the Dragoon's little -1 to hit is going to get nullified. So you got double +1, so you're good for the dense terrain and the Dragoons. And what was it? What you got? Some psychic armor over here? Almost looks like Phyrexian armor.
Yes, it is Psi Steel armor, the Iron Hand specific psychic power. Basically, I just get to pick 1 Iron Hands unit if it goes off, and then give them +1 armor save. So I get Armor of Contempt back on 1 unit, essentially.
Nice. All right. Well, now it's over the shooting phase. Where are we going to go first? I think it's pretty. I got a pretty good guess.
Yep. So we're going to start with the Reaper first. We're going to put all of his shots into the Dragoons. Since we are doing so, we're going to go ahead and pop the Iron Hand specific stratagem. Mercy is weakness, which is going to give me 6s to wound explode. So
cool.
They're considered 2 wounds.
Ooh, okay.
So let me just double check.
6s to wound explode for double damage. Okay, gotcha.
Correct. All right.
All right. I am not going to spend any stratagems on anything because I don't really have anything good to do at this time. So we're looking at, how many shots are you looking at off?
So the first main gun is going to be 24 shots. Then the Tempest Bolters, not within a half range, are going to be 4 shots apiece. And then we have a D3 rocket pod that we're going to be shooting over the wall. So we're going to start with the 24 shot one first. I will be rolling these in sets of 12.
Okay, so 2 sets.
Yep.
And you got 3s to hit?
3s to hit and re-rolling 1s because this is a heavy.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Pretty good so far. 2 suck. And re-rolling 1s.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Strength?
Strength is going to be 6.
All right, 2-6, looking for 4s.
Looking for 4s, no re-rolls here.
I see a pocket of 1s, 2s, and 3s over there.
So we dropped these, but for those 4, we get 4 more back, which is going to be a total of 12.
All right, so 12. You are AP1, but then you're AP2 because of your heavy doctrine.
Yep.
And then I am +1 to my save because you're 1 damage.
Yep.
And then I'm +1 to my save because of my little Skitarii stuff. So I'm back on my 3 up. Ooh. Looks like I'm going to be losing a goon in there. So I lose 1 goon, and take a wound.
Okay. That was the first 12. This is the second round of 12.
All right.
Not as good as the first one.
I like it.
Rerolling this 1-1.
I like it.
Wasn't meant to be. All right. And then we're looking for the same thing on 4s. Still 6 explode. Oh boy, this is... So I dropped 2, but gained 3.
All right.
So that is going to be another 11 saves.
Hey, that's looking a lot better that time. So we're only going to fail 1 in there. So one guy's going to have 2 wounds on him. So he'll drop to 4, and I lose 1 goon. But you have more shots.
Yes.
All right, what's next, Volley?
We're going to go ahead and do the rocket pod. It's D3 shots for 2. This is a heavy weapon, hitting on 3s. Both hit. Strength is 7, looking for 3s. Oh,
I like it.
Unfortunate.
All right, next.
Finishing off with the Tempest Bolters, famously not a heavy weapon, so no rerolls here. All straight shots. Still likes it. Only 1 miss. Strength is 4, though. Looking for 5. 6s are still really good right now.
Yeah, 1 6 in there. You're looking for 5s, you said? So
yep. So only 2.
2. AP?
-1.
-1. So is that -1 because of heavy, or is that -1 inherently?
-1 for the Tempest.
Okay, so I'm actually going to get a 2-up versus this. I will take 1.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Any other shooting from him?
That is everything.
Nice. So a Dragoon drops, and we got 1 with 2 wounds left. Now we're not done shooting yet. We have a Speeder in the middle who's going to be... Looks like he's going the same way.
Yes.
All right. What's he got on him?
So he is a tornado, so he's going to have an assault cannon on the bottom and a multi-melta in the sidecar.
Ooh. So that's going to conclude the Iron Hand's turn. What do you got for scoring on it with us?
So we scored the tertiary with corrupted ground because we took the objective over there in no man's land as well as center, but we can only score it once. Bring it down. We got 2. It was able to pull off 2 Dragoons, about 100% better than I thought I was going to be doing there. Oath of Moment is not done scoring, but we do have a Space Marine unit in the center. We also killed a vehicle. So we'll see if I fail morale test in the next turn. If not, I will gain another point there. And we started raised banners.
Awesome. To everyone's surprise, the Dragoons are moving in the middle to attempt to charge. With Eradication of Flesh, I only need to remove 1 unit to score 4 this turn. That Speeder in the middle is looking pretty tasty. Over here, I just kind of continued my castle, but shimmied a little bit to get my destroyers in a better position to start facing on that hidden Archeo Vault, so we can try and score that. As long as I can get it for 3 turns, it's 15, and I still have some time to move over there, especially with the fact that my robots have yet to bounce, if they are the unit that I choose to bounce with. And I kept them back just to leave a little bit of thought of when and where that could happen. And but I did move my Data Smith up front to lock the robots down next turn. Right now, they're standing normally and have their same defensive profile, but they'll probably put a couple shots on that Speeder, because if I can remove that Speeder in the shooting phase, that opens up a nice little tasty charge right up the middle with the Dragoons. So we're going to move over to my shooting phase, since my psychic phase is over in an instant. All right, so the robots were only able to do 2 damage to it. You know, not quite the efficiency I'd like, but strength 6 into T6, that'll happen. But my destroyers, they're on the top floor. They're going to try and finish the job. So I got 3 destroyers. They're going to put their shots into Mr. Landspeeder. So they are plasma, add D6 shots apiece, and they are a strength of 8 because I will overcharge, and 2 damage. So the 3 destroyers that are in line of sight, we got 3, 4, 5, 6 shots. And we are looking for 4s. Re-rolling 1s because of my buddy there. Hey! Who needs a re-roll? And strength 8, so we're looking for 3s. And oh, there's the 1s. Good thing they don't hurt me there. So we got 3 at -3.
3 at -3 still gives me a save on a 6. Takes them all.
Take 6. So 6 feel no pains. Can you give me? And then does he explode?
He might. Yeah, he does.
He does. And
takes 3, so he is alive.
Alive with 1. Curses. Speeder has 1 wound left. I'm not giving up. My Marshal, he's got a pistol. If I roll a 6 to hit, this automatically wounds. I think he is a ballistic skill 2-up. Can you check real quick over there? I think he is a 2-up ballistic skill just because Skitarii and stuff.
Marshal is a ballistic skill 2.
Yikes. So he at least hits. Looking for 6 because it's strength 3. Nope, that's a 4. Sad face. All right, so we resolved the charge, and the Dragoons were able to make it into the speeder and the impulsor. John opted to try to do a special 2C, spending 2 CP to get a 4-up Overwatch on me. And fortunately for me, the melted did not hit home. So we're going to move over here to the fight phase on these guys. I'm going to put one of the Dragoons onto the land speeder, and the other 2 Dragoons are going to go onto the impulsor. I am going to spend 1 command point to give myself the exploding 5s and 6s on the tasers. And I have my Marshal close enough that I'm going to be re-rolling 1s to hit and to wound. So we'll start with the speeder. So I'm looking for 3s. Re-rolling the 1s. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, he misses the speeder.
Oh,
so
no.
The speeder lives. I do have a strat that I will probably end up using. I'm going to spend a command point actually to re-roll one of the ones I didn't re-roll because I need him dead. Okay, so oh man, he hits with a 6.
Okay.
And then, so that will generate 2 additional hits. Don't do this to me. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. Wounding on 3s. Rerolling the 1s because of the Marshal. 2 wounds. Guys, wake up over here. All right, 2 wounds. You got an AP -2. So, AP -2 for 2 damage.
Okay, so we're looking at 5-up saves. We're going to save 1.
All right, and then so you take 2.
And we're looking for 6s.
No. All right, so he's down.
Does he explode? He does.
He will. So everyone's going to take a mortal wound, but I think that ends after the combat. So I don't think your guys that, if I blow up the impulsor, I don't think they would take damage. Right. I think it's just my Dragoon takes a mortal. And we'll go. So now we'll go over to the impulsor. Here we go. These guys are know what they're doing. All right, so I missed with 1, but I got 1. Oh, crap. That's right. I did spend the command point for 5s and 6s, except I don't think I rolled any in the other one. I couldn't even get a hit out of there.
Right.
So I will generate 2 because I got a 5 and a 6.
Yep.
And now hitting, what's your toughness?
7.
Toughness 7, so still 3s because I'm strength 8. And take these 2s out. All right, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8 at -2.
8 at -2.
So 5 ups?
Yep, 5-up saves.
All right.
About what it should have been.
Let's see, 3 saves in there. Yep, 3. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 damage.
Yep, 10 damage. And we are looking for 6s to save.
What's left on it? How many wounds is it?
11.
11. No. Oh, well, that's good. I got my kill.
So we're going to take 1 less. So we're going to take 9.
Is it 6? It's 6. Okay, so you take 9. Okay, it's a 6. Got it. All right, so he's going to end up taking 9 damage. So resolving my turn in the end of the assault phase, we were able to get this impulsor down to 2 wounds, but it's not dead. Would have rather had it removed, but at least I was able to get the 1 vehicle kill. So that was going to give me a 4 for eradication of flesh because I killed 1 vehicle. I killed 1 unit and did not lose a vehicle unit. I will score the 2 points on the tertiary, and I will get 1 point for bring it down because I popped a vehicle. So, and off camera, Mr. Impulsor got a little crazy here and actually wounded a Dragoon. Good thing I actually made the save though. So that's going to end the AdMech turn. Not too bad. Didn't have to sacrifice too much and didn't have to give up too much movement. But for the cost of a speeder. So we'll move over to the Iron Hands and see what they can answer back with. Iron Hands are getting crazy with it. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about what you're trying to do here? What you're trying to pull?
Well, we're trying to kill you. And the way we're going to try to do that is we brought up the tank. We snuck it inside of these cool dense terrain here. He's only going to get 1 shot, well, 1 gun into him, but it's going to be pretty devastating if he can hit. He did get the Awaken the Machine Spirit from the Tech Marine, so he is going to be hitting on 2s. Then we brought up the Reaper. He did some good stuff last turn, so hopefully he can keep doing that. These guys moved up to see if they can assist the Impulsor, getting him off the objective there. The Justiciar did end up getting out of the Impulsor. He's going to lend his assistance there to attempt to, again, take that center objective away from my Oath of Moment points. guerrilla tactics came down. We went ahead and deployed the banners with our infiltrators here, clearing a way for our drop pod with many, many devastators inside, hopefully to rip down this castle a little bit better. On the opposite side, we're going to have a flank of Valiants coming in. Hopefully, we'll be able to pull off some models themselves. But that is it.
All I'm thinking in my head right now when you said Reaper, I'm just thinking, robots don't fear the Reaper. That's all I got. Sorry for the wiggle in the camera. That's all I had going in my head that time. All right, well, we're going to move over to the Psychic phase then. All right, so Psychic phase was relatively simple. Both the Psychic powers went over here on the Reaper, so you can get get the +1 to hit, is it?
Yes.
+1 to hit or ignore cover?
+1 to hit.
+1 to hit, and then also getting a good old Armor of Contempt back. So let's go. We're going to go ahead to the shooting phase and see what type of damage we can do here, or not do. So we're about a little over halfway through the Iron Hand shooting phase. So we got the Devastators that dropped in. We're able to smack some Destroyers around. They took 3 of them out, but that 5-up invuln is helping. The new upgrade there helped and kept them alive. And then over here, speaking of invulns, Mr. Valiant shot at my robots over there. And for those of you who don't know, robots have an interesting little repulsor grid save, which says that if I roll a 6 while making their invulnerable save, the shooter takes a mortal wound. And those dice sitting there, well, those are the wounds left, because the Valiant took 3 mortal wounds off shells that were bounced back to him. Did take a robot out with all of his efforts, but man, it's one of the dumbest rules. I love it. I love that it exists. So now we're moving on to the next Valiant, right?
Yes.
And he's not happy, is he?
Oh no, he's going to go after.
He's going robot hunting.
Oh yes.
All right. Well, good luck to him. All right. So finishing off the shooting phase, the Reaper. Like I said, robots don't fear the Reaper, and he did drop that bot to 1 wound. So we're gonna have to make some repair rolls on him. And the Valiant over there was able to pick up another one. So we're going to move on to the assault phase, and the Honor Guard are going to charge those Gundans, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
All right, so I'm pretty sure you got this. Go ahead and roll. So you need like what, a 3?
Something like that. We got a 4.
That's a 4. Even with that, I think we're good. Is that you got your little characters coming in too, right?
Yeah, and he's got about the same distance, so and with even better.
All right. All right, so we're in here. I am spending 1 command point to make the Honor Guard fight last, since the Dragoons have core, and they will. The Mr. Judicar over there is going to make me fight last. So Judicar is going to be the only one who gets to swing first. We'll see if he can get some damage out there. All right, so the Judicar was able to finish off a Dragoon who exploded and did some damage elsewhere. He's got a pretty decent attack profile on him. And just so everyone knows before the comment section rips me apart, I did make a mistake. The Dragoons are core, but they're not Mechanicus core for the specific strat that I was talking about, so they will not make the Honor Guard fight last, and instead we will be fighting as we normally would. So ending out combat here, the Dragoons inherit -1 to wound really pulled them through against the Honor Guard, and they were able to turn around and smack and take 3 Honor Guard off and leave a wounded. Also flinging a little bit of damage over here to finish off that impulsor that they were beaten on last round and giving them another bring it down point. But that's not what we're looking to score right now. We're looking to score the Iron Hand turn. So, John, why don't you talk to me about what you were able to score this turn?
All right. Well, we still have models on pretty much every no man's land objective here, so we're going to go ahead and score that tertiary, bring it down. Obviously, we were doing some work here, killing some robots, killing some other things, so we got a couple of points there, bringing us up to 5 on bring it down. Oath of Moment. We did our leadership check in the center. We were able to
super pass it.
Yes,
super pass that on a 1.
Super pass to keep us there.
Ain't scared of no ghosts.
Obviously not. And we're going to go ahead and get some Oath of Moment points there, as well as kill a vehicle. So we're doubling up on our secondaries nicely. And raise banners we scored at the beginning of the turn.
4-2.
4-2.
All right, now it's AdMech's turn. AdMech's going to move, and we'll be back after that. So I decided I was just going to skip the movement phase and go right to the most powerful phase, the AdMech Psychic phase. Anyways, and then to that, we're going to get into the shooting phase here. I moved the Destroyers up. I got to start making some pushes at that hidden Archeo Vault if I want to score anything. I decided to not actually, I am going to bring in one Dune Crawler who's going to magically appear here in a second. The other two are going to stay off field. But my robots are moving up. They're going to try and they need an 8-inch charge to get over onto these Devastators over here. So we're going to try and make that happen. And I'm going to try and pick up some shooting over here. A keen eye might notice that my Skitarii Marshal went off running, and he's going to try and get some craft. He's got some crafty little tricks he might try and pull here in a little bit. So we're going to go over to that shooting phase, and I think I'm going to before I get actually in the shooting phase, I think in the end of the movement, I'm going to bring in a Dune Crawler. I'm going to take a second and make some measurements and see what I want to do with him. Mech came to play this turn, and the bodies definitely hit the floor. We got the Valiant with the robots. They were able to finish him off after Destroyers. Destroyer did some damage. They were needed. And Flamers came around the corner to finish off one of the Intercessors and burn another guy. The Dune Crawler I was talking about, he came on. He looked. He saw. He did nothing. And these robots over here got fancy with it, took individual shots, and were able to kill the last of the Destroyers back there. And this adorable, adorable little Data Smith, his cute little pistol, shot a drop pod for 3 wounds. This is, it's turning it, it's some fun. It's some fun, silly little stuff that's happening here with bouncing wounds. But Iron Hands are definitely still in a very strong defensive position. I'm just getting lucky and getting happy with the things I'm able to do now before all of his tanks start blowing up everything I own. And we're going to move over into the charge phase. So we are going to start with these little Castellan robots, and I'm going to spend 1 command point to switch them over into, we're not doing it yet. I'm going to declare with the Castellan robots onto the Devastators. Do you wish to overwatch me?
No.
No, you do not. Okay, so then when I go to roll my charge, I will spend 1 command point to do Binaric Override. So now they will be re-rolling failed charges, as well as for the Catapult that gets me 3d6 charge. And I will be hitting on 2s now for their weapon skill because they are Binaric Overriding into the combat protocol. So originally I was going to take this little Marshal and rush him at the Reaper to try and shut off his shooting until John reminded me that he could just fall back and shoot for a command point. So instead he's marching in the middle to give me an extra body in the middle should I survive, or however this plays out, just having the extra guy in there to try to take that objective away and get that from him for his, what do you call it, the Oath of Moments. Try and stop some Oath of Moment points.
Oh, I just need to be in the center. I don't need the objective.
Oh, okay. Well, are they? Is that Judicar considered in center? If I were to wipe out the
outside of 6, so
yeah, because the objective is 3 from center, so he'd be safe. Oh well. All right. Well, guess what? You know what? I like him there. Only ones I can fight with first are the robots because he's making my Dragoons fight last, and they're. I mean, I could fight with the Marshal, but I don't think I want to. So we will go over and fight with the robots. So finishing out the Admech turn, the Dragoons lost 1 to the Judicar. He's been the one doing the damage. And the Honor Guard weren't able to seal the deal with the last one, who turned around, popped 2 6s for 5 hits, or 5 or 6 hits, I can't remember, but enough to finish off the Honor Guard. Over here, the robots, unsurprisingly, were able to rush through the Marines that were over there and then move in to tag the drop pod. And we're going to be calling that an Admech turn. So right now, my bring it down is up to 5. I was able to get the 2 for the additional primary, as well as 4 primary on the turn. And I haven't gotten a hidden Archeo Vault yet, but I did get another 4 on Eradication of Flesh for blowing up other vehicle units. So next turn it's going to be a little bit tougher because I'm about to lose a vehicle unit real quick, real soon. And we're going to go over to the Iron Hands phase. At least I'm taking some stuff out before this big boy here starts drawing lines and saying, get off my table. Well, it's just my table, but yeah, we'll go work with it. Finishing out the Iron Hands movement phase, as well as going into the shooting phase, or psychic phase, the Mr. Librarian over here, who's been hot with his powers this turn, failed 1 and super successful for double 6s, so he took 3 mortal wounds. And he's left down to 2, but he got, which power was it?
The Blessing Machine God, so +1 to hit for a vehicle.
Blessing Machine, so +1 to hit on that vehicle. And we've got some other little tricks. Honestly, John, what are you thinking about this turn? I'm looking over here. I see these. See, you're moving up on the Dragoon.
Yes, so hopefully the Dragoon goes away. Big guy right here is going to put everything that he can into him. Then going to leave the Marshal. So the Master of Executions is going to go ahead and lop off that head, taking the middle again to give me some more oath points. But that's a whole lot of maybe. If not, I'm going to be charging that Dragoon and see what happens there.
All right. So let's get over to, and all of your reserves are in. I still have 2 Doom Crawlers for my turn that have to come in next turn. So let's get over to some shooting. Where are you going to go first?
First things first, this is very important, so we're going to put everything from this tank into that Dragoon.
Everything into that Dragoon. All right. All right. So after the Dragoon got picked up by Big Papa Gonna Punk Ya, the AdMech was actually able to be a little more resilient this turn with just some good armor saves and the high toughness value on some of the guns. So they're pulling through, but man, some of my guys are wheeling. Robots over here are down to 1 bot left as his buddy got destroyed. Destroyers are still standing strong. They weren't target priority this turn. And unfortunately, I know we were all rooting for the drop pod to hurt a robot, but it just didn't happen. We're going to move over to the charge phase. And you're looking to just take that objective from me in the center, aren't you?
Yeah, take the center and kill that Marshal.
And how are you going to feel when that Marshal punks you?
I'm gonna pick up my models and go home.
So first, let's check what the measurement is on this charge. Do you have any command points left?
I do have 1 command point
Okay,
left.
good.
All right, so this is going to be a solid 5-inch charge.
Yep. I see a 5. All right, so we're looking for that 5. Just scan over here. Let's see it. Let's see that.
6.
That's a 6. All right, so he's in. So the Judicar did make it, but the intercessors, man, they're still struggling after their vehicle got destroyed. So Mr. Judicar is going to try and finish the day. So what do we got? How many attacks is he?
So 4 plus 1 on the charge. So we
5
are
attacks.
hitting on 2s.
Oof.
No rerolls whatsoever.
Nope. So you got 4.
We are strength 7.
Yeah, wounding on 2s. And 6s are mortals.
Yes.
Oh wow! Now you don't get any mortals.
I'm sorry.
So our Dragoons are down. So you got 3. All right, 3 on the 5 up invuln. And he goes bye-bye. So after the Judicar's combat, the robots were able to consolidate over and finish off that drop pod they were in combat with. And now we're moving to the end of the Iron Hand's turn. What do we got for scoring?
So we are continued to hold the No Man's Land objective, and we will get 2 points there. Bring it down. We got 2 more points there this turn. So getting close to maxing. Oath of Moments, we are within 6 of the center as well, killing a vehicle. Again, doubling up again. So we are well on our way, and another 3 banners.
All right, let's go over to AdMech and see what I can pull out. Man, it seems like you're running away with the score right now. All right, ending out the AdMech turn, it's going to be an uphill trudge. We got to get some movement going. So I was able to. Robots are running around. They're gonna. It's going to be an interesting time. I'm going to have to take a minute and figure out how I'm going to do all this shooting. But I think they're going to shoot at the Marines that are closest to them and try and finish them off and drop the banner in the shooting phase, and then charge into the tank and try and punch it off the table. Being that they're still at 5-man strong and unscathed, they're in a really good position to be able to continue to push across the field. The Judicar is protected by only the 3 guys, so if I can pick off one of them, I'll be able to start shooting at him with my Doom Crawler that just came on the field to get some long-range, 48-inch range shots. And I do have 2 other Doom Crawlers that are looking to redeem their last turn and actually put some damage on some stuff. These 2 destroyers fell back and going on the bottom floor next to my Data Smith, so that I might be able to play some hidden Archeo Vault tech into the later game to try to catch this back up. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get the 15 on that. I wasn't able to push early, but maybe I can get the 10. So here's hoping into the shooting phase. All right, so AdMech's getting with it. The destroyers, these guys have been very, very sporadic, and right now they did much better. Many of the other random dice rolls for their D6 shots were very, very low, where they were barely, not even getting to double the shots with like 4 guys, like hitting 6 shots or 7. And this time they really put a hurting, dropping this tank down to 5 wounds and finishing off the, what was that called? Then
The Valiant.
Valiant, wiping out the Valiant that was in front of them. and their flamers were able to hit home, taking out the last of the assault intercessors that were coming up on the flank. And now we're moving over to this Dune Crawler who I was talking about, who's going to try and go into assassin mode and put his shot downwind at Mr. Judicar. So this is what the role that I'm trying to run with these guys more so than the anti-vehicle. I mean, granted, they got the really cool missile and stuff like that, but it's the 48-inch range behind the 48-inch range and the 10 shots and the different profiles that I like that really help. So let's see if this gets it. Fire in the missile. Missile misses. Awesome. Onto the autocannon.
Oh, God.
Can I call that a Yahtzee now?
Yes.
I mean, I got 5 ones in a row. All right, so here it is. 5 shots. Looking for ones.
There you go.
There we go. All of them hit. Okay, so now 7 on 3. 7 on 4, I'm sorry. So, okay, there we go, 3s. You know what? I have been consistently rolling the same number on dice. Like, not ones, all ones. You got 5 ones. 6s. Like, I rolled 5 5s the other day. Yeah. Or just other day. All right, man. So you're AP 2 at 1 damage on this one.
AP 2, looking for 5s. Saving 2 of them.
So 1 damage each on those.
And 6 feel no pains. Sorry. Yeah, so 2. It's down to 3. Sorry.
That was my stubborn.
Oh,
and that was a fail.
That's fantastic.
Oh, man. All right, so he didn't... How many wounds he got left?
It took 2, down to 3.
Oof. All right, so the robots were not quite able... The smoke screen was able to stop the robots from completely clearing them. How many guys are left in there? 3?
Currently still 4. One's got a wound on him.
Damage on it? All right, so we're going to have to punch them right in their ugly faces and try and multi-charge over here and see what we can make happen. And that's basically going to be it for the turn after the charges come back to a god. All right, so robots did a good job of ripping the tank off the table, but unfortunately they got a little walled by the Marines, not quite enough attacks dedicated over there. So finishing off the turn, I destroyed 1 unit, I destroyed 2 units, and did you kill any of my vehicle units last turn?
No, I have not killed a vehicle unit yet.
You killed the Dragoons is the only unit you killed, and I was still able to jump you by 2.
Yes,
because I killed 2 units. So I will still get Eradication of Flesh. Because I went second, you went first. Yeah, so I got Eradication of Flesh. I did not get the primary bonus. I will. Hidden Archeo Vault still not over there yet. Sadly, making my way. And then the last one was Bring It Down, which actually, what am I up to now?
Currently, you are at... you forgot to get the last one, so you're at 10.
All right, so at least I'm getting some points there, but it's not going to be enough if we can't make this push. It's going to have to be a huge push in these last 2 turns. So Iron Hands are going to be fighting back here real soon. Librarian did his homework this time and didn't burn his head, didn't get a brain freeze, and got both the psychic powers up. So the tank's fully buffed. He also went up to 8 wounds, I believe.
Yes.
Yep, he got up to 8 wounds, so make it a little bit tougher on me. But he's, hey, I'll take what I can right now. I'll take what I can. He's scooting up to try and do some damage. Judicar, I don't know what his plan is, but he's moving up towards some very, very angry robots. And that's really about it for the movement phase. So we're going to go over to shooting. And I think it's Big Boy Tank. Where's he going?
He's going to go into the servitor robots there.
The destroyers?
Yes.
All right, they are transhuman and ignoring AP 1 and 2. Let's see how this goes for him. So finishing off the Iron Hands shooting phase, the robots with destroyers, which are kind of robots, I guess. They are servitors. They -1, ignoring AP 1 and 2 from the Logi, and the transhuman came in huge here, as well as the Shroud Psalm, just tanking the tank. Love it. Love to see it. And especially with how Admech's been in the position recently, it's good to see something working out well for him. And Mr. Judicar wants to come play with his 1 wound left, charging these robots that are locked in combat so they can't overwatch him. But Mr. Judicar, he's going to come in there and charge and try and do a little damage.
Yes.
All right. So we'll see how this goes for you. All right. So the Judicar ran when little hit and run. Came in there, punched a robot. Robot turned around angrily. Didn't hurt him. He's like, you know what? I'm good today. I'm gonna go back and hang out on objective marker 2 with my 1 wound. Robots finally finished off those super resilient Marines, dropping the banner and getting me some primary points to try and come back in this thing. And that's going to finish out the turn. How'd your scoring look?
So still getting corrupt ground every turn. We're finally slowing down on Bring It Down. We weren't able to kill anything. But Oath of Moment, we are still in the center because we did our little shenanigans there. We did not fall back. I don't believe we're going to be able to see any failed morale tests, but if I don't fail any morale tests, then I will max Oath this turn, which will be good, and race banners. I still got my 3 before everything died, so...
All right, time for Mech to see what we can do here. Something tells me this Judicar is not going to be making it out today. So, ending the Mech movement phase, we determined that this Dragoon that moved into the building back here, due to the 3-inch height and the height of the Dragoon, he would be able to be seen and see and shoot out the window. So he's going to be able to take some pot shots long field at 48-inch range. The other Doom Crawlers, I'm sorry, I said Dragoon. The other Doom Crawlers are moving up. They had the +3 to their move for this turn effect. And the Rope Destroyers over here got the same buffs with the Ignore AP 1 and 2, as well as the Transhuman, because they were the only ones that the Dominus could hit. So we're pushing up, and we're going to do some shooting. We're going to try and put some shots into that tank, try and see what we can get onto it. And... well, go about our turn. So let's go into Mech shooting. All right, Doom Crawlers did a nice job sniping this turn, actually getting some of the rockets to hit, which it's the difficult part. Even through the smoke screen, I was able to get one that hit home and did enough damage to really put the tank on the back wheel and then force some damage through, which allowed the last 2 Doom Crawlers to pick on or the robots finished them off into the Doom Crawlers being able to finish off the Tech Marine. So now we're going to go into the charge phase. I'm going to have the Cataphrans charge the guys in the building, while I have the Castellans charge Mr. Judicar, because we're done with his stuff. So unfortunately, my destroyers actually failed their charge, which that's going to really, really, really hurt me. The Cataphrans successfully completed their charge. I spent 1 command point to do the crushing stride or the crushing stratagem to do mortal wounds in the charge step, which then allowed me to consolidate and pile in. Because this was a charger that got to activate, they were able to consolidate and pile in further to get them over, but they're not objective secured, so they won't take it. They're just in a good threatening position to continue out the game. So for the end of the turn, I'm going to score another 4 on Eradication of Flesh.
That'll max it.
That maxes it. Nice. I'm going to, I get my 14.
13 on the...
I thought it was 14 for Bring It Down.
13.
It's 13? Okay, so I got my 13 for Bring It Down, surprisingly. And I have not gotten any points on Hidden Archeo Vault. I'll probably get my 5 at the end of the turn, but that's it. But I do get my
Corrupted Ground.
My Corrupted Ground. Yes. All right. Well, we'll finish up the Iron Hands turn here. All right, so this may be irrelevant, but we're going to try. We're going to push for it anyways, just to finish out the game. It's been a great game. And the Destroyers, I never popped my Solar Flare. So my Destroyers are going to get picked up and port here into the back and kind of Hail Mary pass to try and knock a point off of him, knock some banners out of here, and possibly score a little bit of additional primary. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Hidden Archeo Vault that I failing that charge last turn, I think sealed the game away, but we're going to give it a chance and see what can happen. All right, Mech shooting, doing some work. Might be a little too much work. We're going to see if these charges can stick and where we can land. Might be able to clear these out. And this is going to be the end of the game. So the Destroyers over here didn't take any damage, and we're able to just be enough. We got 4 models on here with the Dominus and the 3 Destroyers. So we'll take this objective, score the 5 from my Hidden Archeo Vault, and remove the banner. And over here, doing something similar, we were able to advance the robots. I got 4 guys to his 2. My Destroyers have OBSEC, so I will take the objective, bringing down the banner, reducing him by 1, and scoring additional 4 on the primary. And I will score 12 on primary for the turn as well. So we're going to double check over the points. I think he's got this. I think that charge that I failed on the hidden Archeo Vault lost me the game. We'll double check everything, but I don't think I squeaked it by. But man, that was a tight finish. All right, final score: Adeptus Mechanicus 83, Iron Hands 87. It all came down to that one failed charge by the destroyers.
Yeah.
If I would have made that charge, what the scenario was, I was moving into Objective 3 on the charge. I had more units in OBSEC to come in there that I literally needed to charge, and I think it was kill one guy, maybe. It
One
might
or
be
two.
two.
Yeah.
I needed to get that charge off. And if I had that charge with my objective secured, I could have stolen the objective, scoring 5 points, and then it would have turned it into a 1-point win.
Yes.
I mean, I'm going to say it. I think this army can handle going into Iron Hands.
Yes.
And that was my concern, was could this even handle? I think there was a little bit of you got away with me on primaries.
Oh, yes.
You got away way too quick with me on primaries. I wasn't able to get into my easy secondary and even score those 8 points. And that was tough. And I think the destroyers were just too swingy. I need to maybe swap them out for some rangers into that.
Mm-hmm.
But enough about this. This is a vehicle heavy list. How did you feel your list performed into it?
I feel like it did exactly what I designed it to. The Executioner has always just been a good model, not a great model. He's always been performed well. The Valiants, I feel like they're very swingy just with their D6 damage. We had a turn here where I just got bounced by your destroyers there. But Reaper,
that one, it was the number of shots was absurd, and then that was a lot in there. So if I had to pick an MVP for your list right now, I'd have to say it was that Judikar.
Oh,
He was Muhammad Ali in the middle, and they're just floating in and out, just punching. He was key, and he scored you a lot of points, especially off of the moment.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely say he was a huge benefactor. The Reaper did well. I don't think this was its matchup. No. I think its guns were not really suited for the heavy toughness 7 and toughness 6, and especially into the robots with their toughness 7. I think it was a little tough on him and tough for him to be able to maintain his damage output, his volume. But that doesn't mean that he isn't good.
Oh no.
Just sometimes, there's some things. My Doom Crawlers didn't do very much. They didn't do very much at all, and I'd have to say that's where mine kind of fallen. But you can see where that power can come in there. Like when it's the multiple damage profile and that 48-inch range is like you saw with some of your Tech Marines. When that scenario happens and it's like, okay, my Doom Crawler is going to shoot, it's like, ooh, I'm about to lose a character.
Oh yeah.
So that was they existed. They did their thing. Not to the best of the ability, but this wasn't their matchup. Castle and Robots.
Yeah, they put down the hurt.
Hey man, they were whooping and a walloping. Dragoons did well too. I mean, they're just inherent stat buffs early in the game like that. Just put in the center and just being able to generate so many attacks. They stopped the honor guard in their tracks. They were able to stop a lot of your speedy pushes that you wanted to get in my side of the field. And I mean, you weren't expecting them to survive, but it was anything that was on my side that I had to deal with was time that you had to get your tanks in positions and everything else. And man, when those Valens came in, I was concerned. I was worried. I was like, just trying to sit there calm and cool, but I didn't like them that close to me. I'm like, this is really tough, and it was really clogging that lane to get over the hidden Archeo Vault.
Yeah.
So is there any changes you're thinking of making to the list or the play or anything that you would have done differently?
Nothing that I would necessarily have done differently. I may have wanted to maybe stagger the Valiants a little bit, just because you were able to just deal with one at a time anyway. Could have maybe had some more of a roadblock again to keep you away from the Archeo Vault. Because again, I can't always bank on someone failing a 5-inch rerollable charge. So.
Right. So, I don't. Yeah, I need to. I think for me, I need to get a little bit more speed. Rangers are able to pregame move. It's not far, but it's a little bit. And I don't know, just some of the stuff that Rangers are able to do is a little more reliable. Plus, being able to put transhuman, ignore AP 1 and 2 on a 20-man brick of Rangers. That was one of the reasons that AdMech was not allowed to stack the Lucius for a while,
Right.
which now is unnerved. But awesome. Thank you very much for making it out here, man.
Absolutely.
Again, final score, AdMech 83, Iron Hands 87. Seen it here. I think a little bit of tweaking to the play style in the army. And hey, my robots might be able to handle Iron Hands. Might be time to take them to a tournament and bring some prestige back to AdMech. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and we'll talk to you again soon.